Hello everyone. This is very strange. We have to talk in English right now. No one told this before, but it's actually better for me to talk in English. And actually it's better for me to speak to a crowd who actually understands what we talk about. Because, you know, on Twitter, I have over 500,000 followers, and you have to tell the basics of what the technology is, what blockchain is, what Bitcoin is. And now to see a crowd like this who actually understands that we're on the same level, I think it's going to be a great chat. Because today I'll be talking about the freedom of Bitcoin, like how is Bitcoin associated with freedom in the new financial world. And to start with, I have to tell you, first of all, there's 4 steps of making Bitcoin and how to adapt this to the people, the community. So there's the collectible, there's 4 steps. There's collectible, there's a store of value, there's a medium of exchange, and the unit of account. So the way I look at it is, how does it work? So just going through the basics. What is a collectible? Like when we were younger, well, when I was younger, there was like the stamp collections or, the valuable coins and stuff like this we used to collect. And then it only becomes a store of value if other people has the same sentimental value of this asset and they start collecting it as well. The third step is when it becomes a medium of exchange. This means with this asset, when you start to use this asset buying or selling goods or services, this becomes like a medium of exchange. On the 4th level, we have a unit of account, which means now with this asset, you can actually use it. You can actually buy and sell stuff within the same unit. You can't do this with fiat money because fiat money, there's a difference between fiat money and Bitcoin. You can't do this with fiat money because fiat money is actually controlled by a federal government, or it's manipulated. You can expand it as much as you like, and it doesn't really work. And that's why the topic of my speech is freedom of Bitcoin. So what is important about this is, in this day and age, in this time of this world, things are developing really rapidly. Like, because we're in the internet age right now, and in the internet age, for example, this happened with gold, but it took centuries. This happened with money, it took centuries. But with Bitcoin, because of the whole technology behind the blockchain, we can actually see this stuff starting and growing really fast. And whilst it's spreading across the nations, Bitcoin is becoming more valuable and valuable. And how does this work? Why is decentralized money so important? This is a very important point. Decentralized money is important because, first, you are in control of your money. If you look at your money right now, you earn some money, but you're not in control of the money. The government can block your money if they want. The banks can freeze your money if they want. If you have a debt or something else, or if you've got a tax payment, they can freeze your balance, your bank account. If I want to take money out, for example, if I'm going to England, I've got $100,000 in my pocket, I can't take it out because they wouldn't let you. There's a limit. You can only take $10,000. I don't know if any of you have been outside the country with a big amount of money, but this is how it works. So with Bitcoin, nobody can stop this because the technology behind this doesn't allow anyone to take the money off you. This is yours. This is your asset. And this is an asset where you can use however you want. So my way of looking at it is, we're in a technological time of the world. Like, everything is really fast. Everything is very valuable, but only for the people who provide this. So how do you make your money valuable? How can you keep your money? I can take out all my Bitcoin assets outside the country without telling anyone anything. I just need to know my password. Or I can just have a cold wallet where I can just put it in my pocket and just move on and do whatever I want. Where with normal money you can't do this. So now everyone's going to say, well, at this time, Bitcoin price has gone down, and how does it work? you know, I put my money in there now, I've got half of my money, and the rest of my money is gone. This is a trader point of view. Bitcoin is way beyond this. Bitcoin and, I'm not going to say crypto money in general, but Bitcoin is different than this, because if you look on a period of a cycle of 4 years, Bitcoin has always made you money. Well, let's say it always saved your money against inflation. If we look at, I don't know, recently, it's been 2 years, I suppose, since the COVID crisis started, right? So 2 years ago, if you had your money and you know, the inflation and everything else that happened with different assets, you would have probably lost your money if it wasn't on Bitcoin. You would make some money if you were in other areas, like let's say other investments. So I'm looking at it now. With the COVID starting, the supply was expanded. Let's talk about the United States of America, because they control right now, because their money is the most valuable. Like most used money, let's say. Let's look at the US dollars. They expanded the supply from about 36% since the COVID crisis started. Okay? In this period of time, let's say 2 to 2.5 years, and this is, I'm talking about, bear in mind, Bitcoin is at a low price right now. It's just below $30,000. It has seen $69,000 in the past year. But right now, if you had your money on gold, you would have made 7%. If you had your money in the S&P index, you would have made about 29% profit. If you had your money on NASDAQ, which is around 19% right now, but Bitcoin is 229%. So, and this is, if we talk about US dollars. If you talk about Turkish liras, then you're looking at something like 1,200%. So, in actual matter, it actually saved me my money against the inflation that I had no right or no power to control. So, Bitcoin here shows me that in a 4-year cycle, 2 to 4 year cycles, it's never going to lose my money against the inflation. There's a worldwide, economic crisis, we all know that, but Bitcoin is more than just the price as well. Like the blockchain technology allows us to do the things that we want to do without paying the middleman. So, for example, I gave this example in a university a few months ago, and let's say you have some money and you want to spend your money, or you want to invest your money in an asset. So let's say I went and bought a house in Istanbul. So I bought the house. Now, a year later, I want to sell my house. How am I going to sell my house? What's the steps of selling the house? First, you have to get it valued. To get it valued, to see how much my house is right now. What is the value? Let's say you have to do the due diligence of it. So someone comes and values my house. Then I have to go to an estate agent. And I have to say, okay, I want to sell my house, can you sell it for me? He says, okay, or she says, okay. And they put it on the market. In the meantime, I'm waiting for this. While I'm waiting, I'm still paying for the maintenance, for the general expenditure. And then when someone wants to buy my house, they're going to buy it right now, but they're going to say, okay, now we have to go to notarize it. So to notarize it, you pay an extra money. So in all this time that I want to turn my assets into money, I'm spending more money to do this. I'm sorry. Then I have to pay the government. I have to pay the income tax. Or if I make profit on the house, I have to pay the income tax. With Bitcoin, it's very different. Everyone should know this. So if I want to sell my Bitcoin assets right now, as we speak, I can just press a button and sell it. And I can turn it into money. Right? So here's the difference. I don't have to pay, maybe you pay the exchange, the commission, but other than that, you don't have to pay anyone anything. Controlling your money. This is why I have invested in Bitcoin since 2017, 2016 to start with, 2017 and 2018. Because I know it's going to save me my money. The other thing is technology, right? What is so important about this technology? Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. The most important thing is, we are in an age where technology, whoever takes the technology, grabs the technology, and moves forward with it, that nation is going to go further. That nation is going to be a better nation, it's going to be a bigger nation, and it's going to be a richer nation. So, what's more important than this right now? Because the world, the whole world is trying to grab some, economical safety in order to like survive and make its nation survive. So, I say, imagine going back in time, right? So, let's go to the first people, first guys in the world. They had their little lands, and they started having a war. And when they had a war, it was whoever's smarter, whoever adapts to the technology first, they get to win more lands. Like, for example, the guy had a stone, and he was like throwing the stones at the other guy, and that little community beat the other community because they used the tool. For that time, it was technology. Then the other guy came up with a spear, so he made the stone a bit more sharper, and he put it on a stick, and he threw this. That community made it further. Then the other guy turned it into an arrow, and he used it as an arrow, so he didn't let his opponents come in close to him, and then so on and so forth. Whoever adapts to the technology first, that's where that nation develops easier. I had a meeting with Nayib Bukele, which is, everyone knows the president of El Salvador. And when we had a chat, when we talked about this, he was very proud to be the first nation to adopt Bitcoin and use the Lightning Network and made this country's economy much better than a few years ago. So now there's a Central Africa Republic is joining, and everyone is slowly, there's going to be Lugano in Switzerland. The city of Lugano is joining the Bitcoin currency as well in this October. They did the infrastructure, everything is working in plan right now, and they're going to develop this in Europe as well, Central Europe. So, as a country, as Turkey, we should adopt this and try to make the best out of it, because we are a very young population, and we have all the opportunities and all the chances to develop this. And NFT is one of these as well. So when we talk about NFTs right now, it's not only about buying and selling NFTs or making digital art. It's about a new form of technology and a new form, the adaptation of the new form into this new technological world. Yes, it's going to take time. Yes, it's going to take patience. Yes, it's going to take hard work. But this is what we're here for. This is what we're trying to do over and over every day. I'm trying to do it on my social media accounts. I'm trying to help people understand. We've got an academy called Steve Academy, and we've got 47,000 students, which is free of charge. And we're just trying to explain to the Turkish youngsters, the Turkish nation, that we are here. If we are influencing is not only about just explaining stuff to people, but it's also what do you give back to the community? How can you develop this community? How can you make your work heard nationwide and spread the word around? This is what we're trying to do, and I am actually very, very proud to be here to talk to you guys who actually believe in this technology and believe in this industry and trying to learn about it. So I think we have a great future in this, especially like organizations like this. Is very important, it's very vital for people to actually understand what it is. I was in Miami last month at the Bitcoin conference, and it's the same sort of crowd. It's the crowd who is very curious about what's going on. Some people are very maximalist about it. Okay? Is that space you're coming now? What's going on? Do I have to leave now? Do I have to finish? What, a 1 minute? Okay, I can talk forever. I can talk all day. Without. And when I found out this is English, I was even more happy because English is my first language, and I can explain myself better in English. So I know I've got like about 30 seconds left. I think. Let me check the time. But I have to say, this has been amazing for me. I wish to speak to all of you guys. If I had time, I would. I'll be out around if you want to come and talk to me, and if you want to, ask some questions. Me and the team are here, and we can talk to you. And I will have to say the countdown is finished now. I thank you all very much, and I hope to see you outside. Bye bye.